Michael David, and today we are talking about the spiritual path. One good way to discipline yourself and have community is to find a metaphysical church. So every 7 days, that gives you a chance to reset, regroup, go to the actual building, which often has a lot of spiritual vibrations and feelings, and the visuals with the stained glass. That's all a tool to help you center. And the music is very spiritual, the auditory. There's something about group singing that is very uplifting and is high vibration. So just for the atmosphere and the singing alone, it's worth it. And we haven't even gotten to the spiritual message yet, which is usually my favorite part of a sermon. So I know of 3 metaphysical churches. I know of Unity is excellent. I know of Church of Religious Science, which is excellent. And I know of Center for Spiritual Living, which is closely related to religious science. That's called Center for Spiritual Living. It's similar. And all 3 encompass the best of the East and the West. And anywhere else, North, South, anywhere else there's a spiritual tradition, they can use those teachings to uplift our souls. So I go to Center for Spiritual Living in California here by the beach, and sometimes they may talk about a Buddhist or have a guest Buddhist speak. Other times it's from the Bible. It's a lot of Christianity. So it's all part of this beautiful path on our ascension, on our way, being better souls, better human beings. And it's all good, right? As the kids say. So there's other metaphysical churches. You can go to a search engine like Bing and type in metaphysical church for your community and see what comes up. There's some Christian churches that are more open-minded, and definitely the rest of the week, I like to do obviously solo communication, prayer directly for God, but once a week it's very important to have that community. The other benefit is it's a discipline. It keeps you on track, and I didn't notice it at first. It was after many months of going that I started to notice I was becoming a better person after several months. It wasn't just in 1 week. Oh, well, it's working. It's great. It took some time with myself. And the other benefit is you start making friends. And the best way is to get involved somehow, like take some sort of smaller class or volunteer or do something. In my church, they have pets, and there's people that take care of rabbits and birds or whatever, or the kids ministry. Find some way to connect with people, and then you'll be exchanging phone numbers and making friends with those people. So you have community and support, and they're generally really amazing, beautiful people that are on the spiritual path. So in metaphysics, there's physical things all around us, like this plant, but we're basically on a spiritual journey interacting with physical things, but it's a spiritual path that we're on. Keep going back to the path, 1 foot in front of the other. So I do want to talk about, every once in a while I will watch a Buddhist online, or a guest will come to the church, and sometimes they say things that just stun me. One Buddhist said he only had 3 possessions. And I'm thinking, 3? I have like 1,000 possessions in my house, and I want more. It's just stunning how it's a real wake-up call to me. It's something I have to contemplate and think about, because I feel like I'm always running to the store. I need that too, and I have to have this, and then I'll feel better. It's an endless cycle on the hamster wheel. But this Buddhist had 3 things. It was like a cloth to wear, and then a blanket or a robe which he used as a pillow, and then a bed mat. that was it. And this was someone in Thailand. And the other thing he said in the morning is morning is a really key time. Like when you wake up, just breathe, and your mind is clear right then. It's all been filtered and clear. So just kind of breathe into it and just listen and observe for a little bit while you're in bed and see what comes up. And then he said, make your bed. And interesting. Why would he say that? But it's a task. It's something to provide structure and discipline in the morning, and that's something I do as well. It's a kind of a stoic thing to do at the start of the day. And then he talked about chores, and I had stumbled onto this myself, that chores feel really good to me in the morning. Things like gardening and watering and weeding, it all feels really good in the morning to me for some reason. And he said the same thing. He said that this is a time to help your mind kind of just focus on the task at hand, and it's something practical and earthy that you can do, and it's a grounding activity, and it helps one on the spiritual path. So that's something that I do as well, as these chores, maybe 30 minutes of them, and then it's a good feeling going on with the rest of the day. It's a win. But back to the materialism, one thing that I try to do is go through the house, the attic, the cupboards, just a little bit at a time, and kind of filter it out, what's not needed, and pass on and donate. Or, you know, when you have like a yard sale, you're recycling to other people, and then they're having value out of it. You're not just throwing it in a dump so that our earth is piled with junk. Anytime you can repurpose or recycle. So I am mindful of that. And in the spiritual path, the idea is to be mindful of whatever you're doing. If it's waking up in the morning and making the bed, you're mindful of that. You're not just throwing it together and then running out the door. There's a mindfulness to all activities. I mean, not always. Sometimes I lose my mind and go off track, but I try to reset later in the day during a quiet moment or whatever. And it's being mindful all throughout the day, like the possessions you have in your home, and just look at them. And I think one rule I heard a long time ago is if you haven't used it in 1 year, you're probably not going to use it. Or with clothing, if you haven't worn it in a year, spring, summer, winter, fall, you're probably not going to wear it. So that can be repurposed to another person and given value. And there's something meditative and cleansing about cleaning out your environment, your closets, your storage area, and then that creates this space or a vacuum for either nothing, just to make it simpler, or something that you really do need, the next thing or activity that you will be working with or using. So anyway, I'm Michael David, and those are my thoughts on the spiritual path. And my site is mysteryislands.net. My site is very mindful. I've put a lot of thought into what products I want to be there, or tarot, or the films I've made. It's all very mindful. A lot of years have gone into my site. So that's mysteryislands.net. And then basically just, like I said, find a church. They're out there. Just look into metaphysical churches, and it's a great discipline. Namaste. Take care.